Welcome to the final match between Nada and Spear, and I think we both have an obvious favorite of who we'd want to advance. This is going to be on Troy. In the upper left-hand corner, it looks like we've got Spear. In the upper right-hand corner, we have Nada in blue, Spear in green. And yeah, on Troy, it'll be interesting to see. Honestly, Protoss versus Terran, I feel like Protoss have a very strong advantage, especially because Weaver Harass has a lot of potential. If you get those simulators down on the front door, not a lot of things as far as factory production can go through, and honestly, Terran players live and die by factory production. We'll see what Nada can do, though, in the meantime.
Yeah, the map's playing a huge role in this tournament already, and you know, I'm going to cry foul map even a little bit on the last game. Although I have to say, it is very frustrating watching Savior play these days. It has been very frustrating watching him play, considering especially his mutilus harass, as Diggory was pointing out. He's just content to roam around the middle of the map and try and pick off a few Marines. He didn't even bother trying to get into. He just assumed that there would be too many turrets there for him to cope with, and that's not the Savior I know, and that's not the Savior that I think all of us loved to see in action. But hopefully someday he'll be able to regain his form and come back in. Being dumped out at the round of 32 is a new low for him, so he won't be participating at all this year, and we might have to contend with the fact that we might not see a return to form for Savior for some time. He might just be like a July Zerg now, where he just kind of comes into form for a little while and maybe makes it to the quarterfinals or the semifinals at some stage. Nada, I think, has been the more consistent, definitely, out of the two veterans, and I'm hoping that he can pull off the victory here. Standard Palan Gateway build going down for Spear, Nada getting his first racks down, and I think if Nada can avoid getting locked in early on, which I think he should be able to do, I think he's going to have a good chance of really catching his opponent, because I think Nada is an old soldier. I think Nada is tougher and stronger, and we've got the second gateway going down, so it definitely looks like we're going to see some early push here, where I think we might even see just an attempt with Zealots to try and just rush his opponent and actually take those simulators out, and the question is going to be if he's going to get the scout in the right direction. Spear is getting the scout in the right direction, so we're going to see some sort of fast attack here, to say the least, Diggity.
Yeah, and I worry about this because the question is again on that factory is whether Nada can get that factory outside of the base, well, not even outside of the base, what he can do to contend with this. I think once he scouts this out, if he does scout this out, fortunately, because he sees that probe ping along from Spear, he is going to get that scout probably in the right direction. He is at the very least going to see these the two gateways as opposed to later, and if he can get that sooner rather than later, maybe he can get a bunker out in position. Right now, bringing it across the middle of the map, maybe to sneak it through. He does have that factory going up right now. He does have a Marine on the field. No, he's going to go to cross map positions. He was assuming that Spear went just cross map. That's unfortunate. I was hoping that maybe on that timing he was going to figure out that it wasn't an early scout, that it was a standard scout, that it was at close positions. This could be huge. Savior does have that factory going down, and as soon as he sees this first zealot, though, he's going to be really hard pressed to fight this off.
Yeah, not in a huge amount of trouble. Spear lucky because he scouted in the right direction. He found Nada's base. He knows where he needs to go, and Nada has got nothing to defend it. He's seen the probe, and that's all he sees. But now he's going to see the first zealot coming in along with the probe. He's not going to even know that there's two gateways there unless he manages to send that SCV up in the right direction, and even then he's going to struggle. So not in a huge amount of trouble here. He's going to have to bring out all the stops. If he can pick that probe off, that'll certainly help him a little bit because he'll be able to slow his opponent down a little bit. He's building the machine shop critically. He's actually gone for the machine shop, and I think that's a bad move. He needed to have a couple of vultures there to help him fight those zealots, and I think Nada might actually be the one who would be almost better off right now, blocking his base and blocking himself in to actually stop his opponent from coming in and wreaking too much havoc, although probably in the long run it would be a very bad idea. Actually, I take that back. I don't think it's a good idea. But Nada has seen those two gateways. He did get the SCV up to the right position, so he's seen the two gateways. He's gotten his SCV in his opponent's base, so he knows exactly what's coming, and he's put 3 SCVs there to block it, and with those SCVs guarding him and those zealots, his opponent isn't going to be able to do too much damage, and the Dragoon's not coming out, and now actually Nada's decision to put the machine shop first down might actually play to his advantage because he's going to have that siege tank out that little bit faster, and I'm guessing he's researching siege tech right now in there.
Yeah, right now it looks like he's in a very strong position. He's going to have that tank out. He's going to have the siege mode. The question is will Spear be able to use a little bit of micromanagement to pick off the lines to open up that assimilator in the meantime before that tank with siege comes out, or if he can pick any of those assimilators off. It looks like he does have that tank out, doesn't have siege tech quite yet, so this is going to come down right the line. It looks like he's kind of pushing in position a little bit. He does have that tank in position to attack those Dragoons back. more Dragoons coming up. This is going to come down to the wire, and this is basically going to be the game. Spear's going to be two, and now Nada pushing out with a lot of SCVs as well with the Marines, as well as that tank. So pushing up, looks like he's getting a bunker down at his secondary, so he has secured his secondary. Vulture alongside with mines, didn't look like he even went for siege check, just got the mines down to play defense as well. And Spear trying to, as you can see, trying to gun across that top edge, trying to run and trying to pick off those Marines. Not going to be able to, though. Some of these Marines going to be able to get into that bunker. That bunker is going to finish, so it looks like Nada is going to be okay, just barely. And so it looks like he is going to hold the front, and that's going to be a huge advantage. First of all, he's going to be able to get a secondary. He's already got that factory out. He has some mines down, and Spear in the meantime is dedicated that 2-gate. Is not going to have hit, and now as you can see, he's blocking his front door. Actually, it looks like Nada might have used a little bit of an SCV trick there to push it through the lines. I don't know if that's legal in this tournament or not. I guess it is. Range upgrade going in the meantime for Spear, and yeah, he's in a bit of trouble now because he went for that 2-gate build. He's going to be way economically and technologically behind.
Brilliant by Nada. Solid Snake outfoxes his opponent yet again, and I think the Spire Mines was the right move, because in a map like this where there's so many ramps earlier on, especially against a Protoss player who's gone 2-gate, who's not going to have the Observer out for a long time, it's going to allow Nada to really just expand at will, and Spear getting that expansion down. But Nada's firmly in the lead in this game now, guys, because he's got, even though his opponent's got 2 gateways, Nada's got his command center building before Spear started his Nexus. So to me, that gives Nada a huge economic lead. Spear trying to get up that ramp, and Nada doesn't even have to worry too much about putting units out because of his fact. He's actually going to be able to sneak these 2 vultures around. The Zealot is not going to be able to block it. Nada's going to get these 2 vultures into Spear's base, and Spear's in huge trouble. We're going to hopefully see some sort of a probe massacre. Citadel of Iron going up as well, so Nada's going to scout that Citadel, and he's going to know exactly what his opponent is up to. 3 probes killed so far with those vultures. Nada's Vultures Micro is legendary. How many pimpest plays have we seen of Nada's legendary Vulture Micro? 5 probes going down. I'm just going to keep a count of this. Spears looks like he's actually 6 probes going down. He picks up another probe. Probes running down towards his natural expo, and he's actually trying to block the entrance with the probes. But Nada's Vulture Micro is too good for it. He would have been better off if he had gotten a Zealot out and blocked the Zealot and used the probes through. But Nada's picked off about 10 probes, and Nada is killing Spear with 2 vultures, and this is just pure joy to behold.
Man, yeah, it looks like Nada's going to take this game very comfortably. Now finally the Dragoons in the base, going to be able to take that Vulture out. Actually, no, it looks like this Vulture is going to be escape. Almost got another probe getting a little bit of revenge there, revenge kill. But in the meantime, Nada's way ahead economically, way ahead technologically. Spear's probably going to do a suicide attack, gather up all his Dragoons, maybe run headlong into those mines before he even, yeah, as you can see, gathering up. This is going to be the last straw, and he's got, wow, it looks like 4 siege tanks greeting him. Nada getting that second factory up. Really thin. It looks like he's only got 8 probes left total with those 2 gateways. But yeah, Spear way out of this. He's got to do a suicide attack and maybe get something done. But otherwise, it's going to be Nada's game.
Yeah, Nada demolishing Spear with that, and Spear now committing himself. He's going to try and run up the ramp, but the Spider Mines are waiting for him, the Siege Tanks are waiting for him, and he doesn't make it up the ramp. He's forced to run with his tail between his legs, and I, for one, am happy to see him go out of this competition. Nada getting the revenge in the end. I think it was Nada versus, was it Spear versus Savior? So Nada defeating the player that Savior unfortunately could not, and Spear unable to work the Troy map of Troy to his advantage. He had every single advantage. He had the gateways down, he had the scout in the right direction, Nada had the scout in the wrong direction, and despite that, Nada has outplayed him, and I think that just revives the faith of some of us guys with regards to the veteran players, that some of the veteran players can play great. And I think in that regard, I think it's fairly fair. I know I'm saying I think a lot, but I really do believe that it's fair to say, it's fair to conclude that out of all of the veterans, Nada has been the most consistent performing veteran in StarCraft. He has been the one who has performed the best for the longest, and who has maintained himself at a high level despite the pressures put on him of being the only good player in his pro gaming team.
I would say, yeah, either Nada or maybe even Nara. Nara has been very good for a very long time. He hasn't really accomplished as much as Nada has over the long period of time, but I think he's definitely being contention up at that level. Additionally, I would say Zelos is up on that edge, and really, I know I'm kind of biased for this, but I really want to see some of the older guys come back with another championship. See July obviously not in contention here, but now as you can see, Nada just kind of finishing the blow, marching across the map, bringing some Dragoons alongside, very comfortably going to win this. Just going to move these tanks up. Doesn't even bother to siege all of his tanks. You can just leave them on the ground. A little bit of Dragoon micro there, but just dying. So Nada going to win this comfortably. But really, I want to see another old vet come back and win something just so we don't, I mean, no offense to the new guys, but just, yeah, mix it up a little bit and not just always have constantly the young bloods always winning it. So, and Nada, honestly, he is my favorite player. He is my he would be the person I would love to see win this, and now just marching all over Spears base, reinforcements directed right, rally point right there, just going to siege up outside, can take these simulators out on the opposite side. Probes out the line, more probes dying, so we're probably going to see GG just in a second here, and yeah, there's GG. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Man, so fantastically, Nada going to advance. Spear a little bit disappointed there. Let's see, it looks like he's going to look over the replay. But Nada advancing once again for We Made Fox. Give him the thumbs up there. Man, exciting OSL thus far. So, yeah, from this group, looks like we're going to see Best to Nada advanced. So any, I guess, additional thoughts on this class?
Yeah, obviously I'm very sorry to see Xavier go, but in the form that he's right now, I don't think he would have made much of a contribution to the tournament. I think Nada, on the other hand, looks exciting. He took it a little bit in the chest in that first game where he got outdone by the Dark Templar drop. He didn't anticipate that, but other than that, he's been really sharp, and I was really impressed with him in this game on Choi. I think if someone else could take out Flash, I think Nada might have a good chance to go all the way through. But I think the form Flash is in right now, I don't think Nada could take him out in the Terran versus Terran. I think Flash is just a little bit sharper than Nada is. But yeah, I think Nada is definitely a player that each time I watch him play, he endears me a little more. And if we've got a second to spare here, I have a little poem that I'm going to read out for you guys, because I think this plays in here, and it plays very well with Nada talking on the screen. It's called A Dream, and don't know, I did not write this. This is a famous poet, but I won't tell you who it is. But I think this applies to our returning champion. Once a dream did weave a shade over my angel-guarded bed, that an emmet lost its way, where on grass methought I lay. Troubled, wildered and forlorn, dark, benighted, travel-worn, over many a tangled spray, all heart broke I heard her say, "Oh my children, do they cry? Do they hear their father sigh? Now they look abroad to see, now return and weep for me." Pitying, I dropped a tear, but I saw a glowworm near, who replied, "What wailing wight calls the watchman of the night? I am set to light the ground, while the beetle goes his round. Follow now the beetle's hum, little wanderer, hide thee home." So I'm going to leave you guys with that thought, and sorry if it's a bit too literary. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys.
지난 우승자, 지난 본좌 출신 마재현 선수를 꺾으면서 1승을 찍은 것만으로도, 그리고 스타리그 땅에서 마재현, 이윤열 이런 쟁쟁한 선수들과 겨루었다는 그 경험만으로도 이범규 선수에게는 아주 값진 재산이 되는 거예요.